not only does he bring a good lifetime record to the ball club, too, he is the best pickoff pitcher in baseball. And I'm going to talk a little bit with Wade Miley today about how you create that, how that body and that rhythm comes together that makes it so dangerous for guys to get good leads off you.
Yeah, I just try to keep everything the same both ways, whether I'm picking or making a pitch to the plate. Try to keep my delivery the same as possible, and sometimes catch some guys napping.
What exactly is the rule? A lot of people don't know what direction do you have to go in order for it to be a balk. You can't deceive the runner, I know that. But what is it about your move that is kind of borderline, whether you're going to home plate or whether you're going to go to first base, that makes it so deceptive?
I think I worked on it since I was a little kid. I was probably 10 years old and I started working on it, just trying to keep my hips moving forward as long as possible. Because if a hitter sees your hip, the runner sees your hips moving forward as long as possible, it's just they think you're going to go to the plate. And then the last second before I make my turn over there, obviously there's some ins and outs. You know what umpires at first base at the time or behind the plate give you a little more leeway sometimes. So.
Is there a line that which they say you have to make a movement towards first base? Is there a point where it becomes a balk if you go past a certain point?
They say I guess the unwritten rule, the 45-degree line, but
right.
But at the same time, that's also it's really umpires. It's kind of their judgment on what that is. So, like I said, you know who's over there. There's some guys a little more lenient to call it, and then you maybe back off that day if that guy's at first. But for the most part, I try to walk it off every pick. As soon as I make the throw, just walk it off the mound so they can't
walk
correct
right down to make it look like you were going in that direction.
Exactly,
in the first place.
correct, and that helps out.
There's a lot to do is the body rhythm. You know, actually from the shoulders up when you come set, you look over at them, but you look back to home plate, and then as you pick it up, you know, something happens where the base runner cannot get a good jump because he can't see your eyes or you don't know where you're really looking.
Well, I think my head is a big key as well. Being able to do the same thing with my head when I'm pitching or when I'm picking off. I'm trying to look to the plate, and then the last second I'll peep over there and try to deliver the ball as close to the first baseman as I can so he can have a chance to put the tag down.
Well, at the very last second, you have to look over at the direction you're throwing the ball.
The later the better. Yeah, the later the better. The longer you can hold your head on home plate and then snap it over there.
Yeah.
And I've done it quite a lot. So I mean, it's a little easier to maybe be a little bit later with my head and still make an accurate throw to first base.
So show me again. You got to come set.
Right. Yeah. I just come set like normal, and then I just try to like make my head do the same thing, and then longer my hips can go forward. I know a lot of guys, like their first move is to turn,
right?
And the runner sees that. Yeah. I just try to hold it as long as possible until the llast second. Just flip it over there,
then you
and then walk it off.
Slurve it into that area.
Yeah. It's kind of. I mean, sometimes I'll be here. Sometimes a little bit. It really all depends. If there's a guy I think I might have a chance to get, I might cheat a little bit more down toward home plate. And then another big key is the rubber. Like, I mean, if you cross the rubber, it's considered a balk.
But goes behind that rubber, you're dead. You've got to go to first base. But you don't.
No, if it goes behind the rubber, you got to go home.
Yeah, you got to go home.
Correct. Yeah. So, but sometimes you can get away with a few things here and there. Yeah, you can, depending on the situation. Obviously, first and third, you're going to be a little more.
Yeah.
Not so, you don't want to balk first and third situation, but with a guy on first base or something like that, 2 outs, you might stretch the rules a little bit and see if you can get a guy.